I mean, there's so many things that you've done I can ask you about, but I got to go with this one. The scene in Ocean's 11.
Yes.
Where you're playing yourself.
Yeah.
And you're playing poker, and Brad Pitt's character is teaching you how to draw out the bluff.
Yeah.
Right? And Clooney is sitting there. And this is an important, scene in the film.
Moment in the movie,
But you're playing yourself. How did take me behind the scenes of this scene?
I mean,
Joshua.
again, I've had this wonderful life where there's just I find myself in these crazy places sometimes. So so I'm doing I don't know how old I was, 23 or 24 years old, and I'm sitting at a poker table, and it's not just Clooney and it's not just Pitt, but Steven Soderbergh is our director, right?
Yeah.
So I'm in this moment with these two mega guys, just seeing if you can hang. So for me, the meta point of that scene right there is I wonder if I can actually be on camera with these guys and not disappear into the woodwork.
Because you're Dawson Creek's Joshua Jackson in this
I'm
this
just
scene.
some schmuck off the.
No,
well, but let's be
you're
real.
one of young Hollywood
Clooney
people.
is still Clooney, and Pitt is still Pitt at this point, right?
Okay,
So it's
of
not.
course.
So there are levels to the game, and I'm not at that level.
Okay.
And we get in there, and the first scene of the day was with. First scene of the day was with Pitt only, and then it was Pitt and Clooney for the second scene of the day, and. The single coolest movie star thing I have ever seen, still to this day, we're off in the wings in between shots at one point, and I sort of weasel my way into a conversation between Clooney, Pitt, director, producer, a couple other people, and I'm just hanging out. And Clooney is in the middle of telling everybody the story. There's 12. This is how I got into the conversation. There's 12 Indian motorcycles just sitting in a spot on the soundstage, and I'm kind of a gearhead, so I was like, what's this? And he's like, oh, well, these are gifts from my friends, because you do this stuff when you're a movie star, but they have to go to Italy to get them. So I'm having all of these bikes shipped to Italy. So he's in the midst of telling this story, and a PA, so for people who don't know, a production assistant, it's the lowest man or woman on the totem pole, comes up essentially to ask everybody if they need anything, right? Hey, you don't want a cup of coffee? Can I get you a snack? And she goes through, blah, 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 Brad Pitt. She gets to Clooney. Now, they've been working together for 80 days, right? This is a known person. Can I get Mr. Pitt? Can I get you a cup of coffee? Young schmuck, can I get you a cup of coffee? Mr. Clooney. And as she's saying the words, she literally swoons. The brain just short circuits, and she swoons. In the middle of telling the story, these guys got to go to Italy. He catches her, doesn't break his sentence, says, no, that's okay, babe, I got it. Puts her back on her feet and goes immediately back into his story. Which I took to mean, so many people swoon in this man's presence. He doesn't even break stride. Didn't even pause. It didn't even dawn on him what it just. He was just like, "No, I got you. It's okay." Anyway, so we're going to go to. I couldn't believe it. And if it was a setup, then bully for him, because that's the best setup. I've been telling this story for 25 years.
Wow, fantastic!
It was incredible. It was incredible. He was so incredibly unfazed that I was messed up. I couldn't believe it.
That's amazing.
Yes.
I love stories like that. What a backstory. And I just love that scene. It's just such a fun scene of the film.
I mean, I can go into the nitty-gritty details of
Please.
it. So we're shooting this. We were on day, let's say, 89 and 90. So we're right towards the tail end of them shooting. And I didn't know this at the time, but Steven Soderbergh is not only his own director, he's his own director of photography and his own cameraman.
Does everything.
So he's just bouncing around, and he's, it's poker table, so it's circle. And in the normal course of business, you'd have to move all the lights around every time he moves. But all day, he's just bouncing, nothing moves. And at a certain point, he sees something, and he's like, oh, this way. Whisper. Somebody runs away. They come back with a binder. He puts the binder on the poker table, opens it up, flip, finds the location that we're at, looks, and he goes, what's that shadow doing on the wall over there? Because he's memorized his entire lighting schematic.
Unbelievable.
So that there are no unsupported lights anywhere in the room, so that he never has to move a light, so he can just capture whatever he wants as he goes around. And then one of the other guys at the table asks him, hey, we're on day 89. When are you going to have your cut of the movie done? Which is kind of an impertinent question, but whatever. And he thinks about it. We're on a Thursday, going to shoot a Friday. He's like, well, probably take the weekend. Yeah, I'll probably have my cut done on Tuesday. which for anybody who works in the industry knows is an insane thing to say. There's usually at least 6 weeks before even the roughest of rough cut.
Yeah.
He sends to his editor a list of the shots that he's about to do and how he would like them cut together
Unreal.
before he shoots them, and then the editor puts his preferred take and the director's prefer, and so they're only ever 2 days behind. So he has the whole movie mapped out in his head and cut as he's doing it. It's the craziest thing I've ever been around. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so it makes it easier for you as an actor to do this sort of stuff, do you think? Because
what he said when we were there, at a certain point, you know, like all of us who were not Brad Pitt and George Clooney were pretty nervous that day. And at a certain point, you know, we go through the dialogue and we're like 2 or 3 takes in. He's like, okay, now just play poker. Now just play. He's like, I built you the sandbox. You can't do anything wrong in here. So just play. And if I like it, I keep it. And if I don't, I don't. Just go.
Yeah.
It was the most liberating. He's so prepared, right? And he's planned for everything that you can do in the sandbox.
Yes.
So you have total freedom inside of that.
So you're not folding your hand against
against
Clooney
pedal
or
to the metal.
That's what I love about that scene because, you know, Clooney has his movie star moment, you know.
Yep.
4 9s with an ace, you know, it's a pretty good kicker.
Ace in the hole, pretty good.
Pretty good kicker. Oh, my gosh. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.